I'm requesting that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the Gulf County Sheriff's Office, and the Gulf County State's Attorney's Office look into this. This deputy has to be examined for every case and every arrest that he's made during his tenure with the Gulf County Sheriff's Office. My name is Sergeant Don Jackson. I'm a police practices expert, and you are about to hear a police officer testifying falsely under oath during a deposition.
We're still on the record in State of Florida versus Christian Barnhart, Gulf County case number 16223. Now deposing Deputy Brian Smith, Gulf County Sheriff's Office. Mr. Pat, will you swear him in, please?
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. On November 11th of 2016, around 7:55 in the evening, why did you stop a GMC SUV up on Highway 71?
Faulty equipment, tag light was out.
Okay. How did you determine that the tag light was faulty?
When I got behind the vehicle, it was noticeable that it wasn't illuminating the tag.
Did you take any photographs of any of the items recovered from the vehicle?
I did not, no sir.
Any cell phone photographs?
No sir.
Is there any audio or video recordings in this case?
No sir.
Deputy Brian Smith was not telling the truth during his testimony. There were photographs, but two other officers also corroborated what Smith said in their own depositions.
Today is January 31st, 2017. We're on the record in State of Florida versus Christian Barnhart, Gulf County case number 16223 CF, deposing Investigator Paul Williams, Gulf County Sheriff's Office. Appearing on behalf of the defendant is Brian Hill. On behalf of the state is Mr. Gary Pack. Mr. Pack, will you swear a witness, please?
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Any photographs? Did you take any photographs?
I did not.
No cell phone photographs or anything
No,
like that?
No, sir, I didn't.
How about any audio or video recordings? Do you know if there are any of those?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Photographs, did you see anybody else take photographs that night?
I don't recall. I'm sure somebody did, but I don't recall.
Okay. But you didn't, your testimony is you didn't take any photographs?
No, sir.
We're continuing on the record in State of Florida versus Christian Barnhart, case number 16223. Same appearances as before. Now deposing Investigator Shane Farrell, Gulf County Sheriff's Office. Mr. Pat, will you swear him in, please?
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I will.
Okay. And you didn't participate in the search of the vehicle?
No, sir.
You didn't collect any evidence?
No, sir.
Did you take any photographs?
I did not.
Cell phone photographs?
No, sir.
Do you know of any audio or video recordings in the case?
I do not know.
Okay.
I do not know why Deputy Smith lied during his deposition, but I can prove that he lied because I have the photographs that he said did not exist. I got the photos from Vera O'Reilly, who had reported a complaint 1 month earlier about Deputy Brian Smith, which led to his termination.
My complaint included fraud against the citizens of Gulf County. He would hide, he would turn his radio down or off, he would fall asleep in his car, sexual misconduct in his patrol car and a bathroom while on duty. He was wearing his uniform.
Videos, things that he said on duty in the patrol car.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're aware of the matter, but in any event, you need to be based on what I've seen. And I'm a retired police detective, and what I saw was worrisome. The officer's making lewd comments. He's making threats. He's bragging about abusing prisoners, and he, at least in the evidence that I saw, has been giving her photographs and information from crime scenes. So the woman said she has already reported the complaint, and her name is Vera O'Reilly, but she said that she didn't think she was getting anywhere with the sheriff's office, and I wanted to make her certain that you were aware of it and that there was an investigation ongoing.
I published a story online after I contacted the Gulf County Sheriff's Office demanding that they fire Brian Smith. The sheriff was, the best I could describe it, is incredulous and didn't think that there was enough evidence to fire him, and he didn't fire him. What ultimately happened is that I published evidence I had proving that Brian Smith was engaged in frequent sexual misconduct on duty online, forcing his resignation 2 days after I published the material. Christian Barnhart was arrested by Brian Smith. Barnhart contacted me after he saw his wallet in a video that I published about Brian Smith online. Barnhart not only recognized his wallet, but he also recognized several photographs of evidence seized by Brian Smith and other deputies from the Gulf County Sheriff's Department during his arrest. The problem with that is that Brian Smith and the other deputies denied the existence of any photographs, video, or audio of the encounter during a sworn deposition. My previous video involving the sexual misconduct is far less important than what is going on here. What appears to be happening is that Gulf County deputies are purposely testifying falsely to gain convictions. Mr. Barnhart doesn't dispute the fact that there is marijuana found, but there is a process for initiating a traffic stop and an investigation of any motorist. You can't just pick people out and search their car and then justify what you found by the ends justifies the means. It doesn't work that way. And it appears that there's a question of probable cause when we have a deputy who is clearly lying about key issues in a case that he is pursuing as an investigator.
Christian?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to merge you into the call that I'm on with my staff, so can you stand by?
Okay.
How did you find out that Brian Smith had pictures? Just walk me through that. You looked at it on the app, is that right?
I was on Facebook and I saw a link that was posted about Brian Smith, so I clicked on it because I was like, well, he arrested me. I really don't like this guy. I want to see what's going on with him. Clicked on it, was read the whole article, actually got off of it. 2 or 3 days went by. I was going through the article showing somebody else it scrolled down a little bit further and I started seeing pictures of that he had sent, the exhibits. And I scrolled down and I saw this big bag of marijuana and I was standing outside and I almost dropped to my knees because I was in such shock that here we are 5 months later after I've done pleaded out and have done 3 months of probation. Here's the evidence I was looking for. And I've got a hold of my attorney. I waited 3 days. He didn't get a hold of me, and then I called you guys, and I got a hold of you immediately.
Okay, so you were actually looking forward to using that evidence in your case to defend yourself.
Yes, especially if what was in the picture did not match what was actually in evidence. We had no reason to pull the evidence out of the evidence locker because we didn't have any pictures to compare it to. Yes, I still actually have the same wallet today. I use it. I sent you a picture of it. It's in my evidence file through the drive.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sitting here looking at my evidence report from when I was speaking with my public defender and everything, and just giving you something of what it says. One of the items was a large clear bag of marijuana weighing 1.1 pounds. All right, the next one was money, which was $654, which is all in the picture. And then here it says 2 clear bags of marijuana weighing 30.8 grams. But yet if you go back to the police report, it says that there was a bag weighing 30.8 and a bag weighing 9.6. Why isn't the 9.6 inside of the evidence report?
Well,
along with the grinder. That's why he asked so many questions about the grinder in the deposition, because in the evidence report there's no file of the grinder on here. It says 2 glass smoking devices. All right, where's the grinder? It's a little wooden box that you put marijuana in, and it has a 1-hitter. That wasn't on the report either, and neither was my scale that I had. But yet it's all in the picture, and when that lady sent him the email, it was all in evidence, but not on the report.
And you did mention earlier that you had found a grinder grinders recorded in the narrative of your report that a grinder was found. However, it's not listed in the items of evidence that are in the report that we have 1 through 4.
Yes, sir.
When you're on a stop like this and you recover evidence that you, for whatever reason, decides not going to be evidence in the case, but you think it should be destroyed, do you have to generate a report letting your CSI lady know this is evidence to be destroyed?
Generally, yes, sir.
According to your report, you indicate that while searching the passenger side door compartment, there was a plastic bag containing 9.6 grams of marijuana found, along with multiple clear plastic baggies, which are used to distribute narcotics.
Okay.
Does that refresh your recollection?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Next question. Do you know where that 9.6 grams of marijuana is?
It was placed into evidence with everything else.
Okay. The reason I asked that question, and I'm not trying to be difficult. According to the report I've got, there's item 1 is a large clear bag of marijuana that weighed a pound. Item 3 is money. Item 4 is clear bag of marijuana weighing 30.8 grams. Item 2 is the glass smoking devices. And there's no other items of evidence listed.
Okay.
So I don't know where we're missing. It appears from what's in here, we're missing that 9.6 grams of marijuana. As we sit here today, I take it you don't have. If it's not in the report, you're not sure where it's at.
Correct. I know.
Okay.
I know all items of evidence were put into evidence, though.
Okay. The $654 in U.S. currency that's recorded in the report. Did you count that? Did you count that money yourself?
Along with, I'm not sure which one of the investigators, but it was inside of the sheriff's office substation.
Okay. Did you, when you counted it, did you record a breakdown of what the denominations were? Like how many 50s, how many 20s? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just counted it out like it was? Okay. In addition to the smoking devices from the console, did you find any other type of drug paraphernalia in the vehicle?
I did not, no, sir.
Okay. You recall seeing any scales in the vehicle, in the console?
I think there was. I didn't collect them.
Okay. Do you know what happened to them?
As far as I know, they went to the sheriff's office substation, got put in with everything else.
Okay. And that was going to be my question. Was there any, there's listing of evidence in the report. Was there anything collected from the vehicle perhaps that was going to be, say, destroyed? Do you recall?
Possibly, but I can't recall.
Okay. If there was, would that be subject of another report, like an evidence destruct report? That wouldn't be in this?
Possibly.
Okay. Who would have that?
Should be our CSI lady.
Okay. And you talking about Renee?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, whenever we got pulled over, Brian had walked up to Christian, had gotten his license, and had ran it, and came back and told him they were suspended. And by then, the two detectives came up, and I can't remember his name. Mr. Williams was his name. He came up to the passenger side door, which was where I was sitting, and we rolled down the windows and all, and they said they were about to deploy the dog, and I told them that I didn't feel comfortable standing up because my contractions were really bad, and I felt like I would fall, and that we were headed to a hospital. Well, he told me that I still had to get out of the vehicle, and then he walked away and come back, and he had changed his mind that I could sit in the vehicle, and he had to get Christian out. Well, as he got Christian out, the dog come around, and Brian put his hand, it looked like he touched the driver door, and that's when the dog got into the driver door, but when they come around to my side, the dog jumped like in the window with me. And so I started having the contraction again right then because it scared me. And by then the dog was done, and they made me get out of the car because he said the dog alerted that something was in the vehicle. So I got out, and I asked them if I could at least have my jacket because I was really cold and shivering was making it all worse. Well, as they were searching the vehicle, the EMS came. I went and got in the EMS. They checked how much I was dilated, my blood pressure, and all that. They said that I wasn't dilated enough to be sent to a hospital or transferred to a hospital. So they let me get back out of the EMS, and by then they had Christian on the front of the cop car and made me walk over there to him. And the detectives kept walking back and forth. From when they would find something, they'd walk up to Christian. Is this yours? Where did you get this from? Was it from our county? And then they asked us, whenever they found the pound, they come back around the side of the car, and they were like, well, what is this? And Christian responded he already knew what it was. And he kept asking where it came from, whose it was, where it was going, why we had it, and just kept asking a bunch of questions. Well, at that point...
Did you see the police officers take any of the pictures that later came up?
Yes, I was standing by then. They had put him in the handcuffs and had him standing off to the side, and I was standing off to the side from him, like a good few meters, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And I watched them all chest bump and high five, and then all of a sudden you just see a bunch of flashes going off like strobe lights because they were sitting there taking pictures in one big circle. And whenever that happened, they were going to put Christian into the car, and I asked if I could give him a hug before he got into the car, and they said yes, and I walked over to Christian and hugged him, and then they put him into the car, and then they told me, as they had him sitting in the car, I was standing off by a bush, and the detectives come up to me and told me that if I said that I knew the pound was in the car, that I knew it was Christian's, and that it was his, and if I told them where it came from, that I wouldn't be charged with anything, as long as I gave that statement. So I agreed long enough to get up to the station, and when we got to the station, they turned the recorder on, they read me my rights, when we got to the station, the Williams detective sat in there and was telling me that this is what I needed to say on the recorder, and that this is how I needed to say it. And I didn't say nothing because I was hysterical. And then they were trying to come in and tell me that I shouldn't feel guilty when I give my statement because he's a known drug dealer and that he transports stuff all the time and that he does meth and this and that. And they turned the recorder on, Mr. Brian Smith did, and he turned his recorder on, read me my rights, and I told him I wanted my lawyer. They shook their heads at me, they turned the recorder off, and then Brian walked out and the other detective was sitting. There was 2 detectives in there at that time. And they were sitting there telling me that I messed up, that I should have given the statement, and that I shouldn't feel bad. Once again, I shouldn't feel bad for it because he's a known drug dealer. And that they're still not going to charge me with anything. And then by then my sister-in-law had gotten there and had gotten me, and I was on my way to my house. And then to the hospital an hour later.
Okay.
That was pretty smart of you to say that you want to speak to a lawyer, by the way. I just had to commend you on that. That's a good thing. You should never admit anything to the cops without a lawyer present.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. My father and my grandfather my father's a state trooper and my grandfather is a county sheriff's officer. So I'm very good with the legal stuff sometimes.
As per our conversation about getting video evidence of my Facebook conversation with Mr. Smith, you can clearly see he's here. There's me. This is him, B. Smith. He has changed his Facebook name and deactivated his account. I'm not sure why. This video that I'm going to show you that was given to Mr. Harrison and yourself was sent to me November 25th, 2016 at 5:29 p.m. Now,
so I was talking to my partner Chase. I just went over to his house for a little bit, who was there yesterday, and he said apparently like his memory dawned on him, and apparently I did more than just hit him with my knee. Apparently I threw like 3 uppercuts, which that would explain a lot.
Now that's the video about the gentleman that he broke the guy's neck. Now the very important, alarming thing that makes me very worried is November 25th at 2016 at 3:46 p.m. I asked him, how was your day? And he replied, uneventful, just got done with my report now, working on the use of force. So what I'm wondering is, did he go back and amend his report to reflect the video he just sent me of blacking out and giving the guy 3 uppercuts as well as kneeing him? And this is a cause of concern for me, for the people that he has sworn to serve and protect. Also, this information was given to Mr. Harrison, and his disregard for the public that he needs to be serving is just as alarming. Hello Dawn, this is Vera with another video of the extent of conversations between Brian Smith and myself. So I'm clearly still on our thread. There's pictures and videos of us. So why I sent this picture and the comments to Mr. Harrison and yourself is Brian tells me that an older lady had hit the bear and killed it, and that he was going to take a tooth from the bear. And I said, sweet, get a claw too. Then he explains to me that the game warden sends out a biologist to pick the bear up, and that he thinks taking a claw would be frowned upon. So the reason why this one made me nervous was, if he's willing to take things off of a dead animal as, say, a trophy, what else is he taking from crime scenes? What is he taking as trophies on some of the calls that he's actually enjoying?